This video is taken from a live webinar about how to automate your sales. If you want to see the full replay of the webinar for free, click on the link below. In the meantime, enjoy this information from our live webinar. The next part is upsells, side sells, and downsells. I think I've spelled side sells wrong. Let me just go back a bit. Let's talk about upsells, downsells, and side sells, Heather, because people often hear these terms, and what is it, and how do they work, and why is that important in your automated part of your business?
This is actually, I believe, one of the most powerful concepts to use in your business during the whole checkout process when somebody's buying from you. And unfortunately, PayPal does not allow you to easily do this, so this is a little bit more advanced, but I want you guys to know about it because it is something you should always incorporate when at all possible. Even if you're doing sales from stage as a speaker, even if you're doing sales on the phone, you can still use this concept. So basically what it says is that if somebody's already buying from you, they've already said, yes, I want to buy this, they've given you their details, they're probably ready, basically ripe and ready and excited to maybe look at other things that you have. So you want to catch them right there in that moment when they've just bought, to give them other opportunities to buy things from you. So basically an upsell is if they've bought, say, let's talk about an ebook, for example. So they've come into your website, they bought an ebook, they've said buy now, they're filling out their details. There's a nice little button on the next page that says, hey, would you also like for an additional $15 to get the audio ebook version of this ebook? That would be an upsell. So basically you're offering them an additional product to add into the one that they've just purchased. And then there's basically an option. They can either say yes or they can either say no at that part. And I guess, Andrew, then let's talk more about side sells, some other examples of how the yes and no buttons work with this.
Well, I guess
So if we're moving on, say.
go on. Sorry, go on. Keep going, Heather. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, so if we're moving on with the whole example of the ebook, how would you do a side sell with an ebook?
Well, a side sell on an ebook can be something like, if you've written a couple of ebooks, you may say, well, if you like this book, I've also got this one in the series, or this is a complementary book. It's not necessarily needed to enhance the product you're selling, but it does go hand in hand with what else you have available in your stable, basically.
And a perfect example of this is like when you guys go shopping on Amazon. Amazon always says customers have also bought this. You see it a lot with exercise gear. If you buy like an exercise DVD, it'll also recommend that you get the like exercise bands, for example. So it's something that makes sense or is complementary to that particular thing that they've just purchased.
Yeah, I think
So
iTunes do that. iTunes do it well. People who
yes.
listen to this or bought this music, they also listen to this. It's all about trying to get extra sales from stuff that they are looking at and liking.
So say let's do a downsell now. So I'm purchasing an ebook. I'm on the next page. What would be a downsell, Andrew?
Okay, so a downsell would be if you've purchased the ebook and the upsell, let's say the upsell is the audio version of your book, and you might say, no, I don't want the audio version. So you click on no, and it'll take you to another page that might be, hey, why don't you get the 10-step blueprint, which summarizes my book. It's only $6. So you're basically going down and selling something that's at a cheaper version, not cheaper version, it's a cheaper a downsell that compared to the original price, it makes sense to say, well, it's only another couple of dollars. I might as well buy that because it's going to complement what I'm buying.
Yeah, so I think that the best way to look at this is at the very least what you guys would want to do is to try to do an upsell. So if somebody's buying your ebook, offer them something else in addition to that. When they get to the next page, do you also want this? And this other stuff, the side sells and the down sells, are just examples of how that works, and you don't have to do all of them, although I've seen people actually do that and lead you on a journey saying, hey, what about this audiobook? And then you say, no, I don't want that. And then they say, other customers bought this. And then you say, no, I don't want that. And then another thing pops up and says, are you sure? Do you want this $5 additional little transcript for the ebook? And then then they say no to that. So people have actually taken this pretty far and keep doing it until you literally just can't say no anymore. But the key point for you guys to take away is just try one. Just try one of these when you're doing your sales. Always remember, it's like the whole McDonald's. They do upsells all the time, right? Want to
Hmm.
supersize that? That's an upsell. So just
Yep.
keep that in mind when somebody's buying from you and they're in that moment right there. Just this is the way to make sure that you don't leave any more money on the table. One more thing I might add is how do you actually do this? The systems such as Office Autopilot and Infusionsoft and One Shopping Cart actually have this built in. So you can program in what you want to upsell to that client, and the system itself actually takes care of that for you by supplying the buttons, the yes and the no buttons for them to, add that into their order. PayPal does not allow you to do this. So if you want to do something like this with PayPal, what you'd have to do is have a whole other PayPal button that sits on the next page. So if they've purchased the PayPal, then they've come back to your site to actually get the free or the thing that they've bought. On that page, you'd actually have to stick another PayPal button saying, hey, would you like another whatever or whatever. So it's not as user friendly at that point because it has to be two separate transactions.
But there is a workaround, right? So they can use PayPal to do upsells, but this is all part of this whole automation. How do you keep selling more stuff while you're not having to physically do it? And
That's right.
and this is what we want you to understand is that it's not that hard. Once it's set up, it's set and forget, basically. If you got some really good tips out of that video, then why don't you go and watch the entire webinar for free? All you need to do is follow the link down below and you'll have instant access to the webinar. Go on and do it now.